Assalamu alaikum students, we're going to do the example for solving the integral equation having the degenerate or the separable kernel. But before moving on to that example, this is an example from chapter number 3. Let's thoroughly just go through this. In chapter number 3, it's all about the homogeneous Fredholm integral equation of second kind with separable or degenerate kernel. We did already in the class the characteristic value and the functions. You already have these notes that what we did in this. Then there are some remarks about it, like what kind of eigenvalues and eigenfunctions you can have. And then there are remarks 1, 2, 3, 4, and then at the number 5th, there was the solution of homogeneous Fredholm integral equation of second kind with separable or degenerate kernel method. That is the general one. We have already done it in the class, and you can see you already have these notes as well. You can note down if you don't have it. We did the general solution. We did it generally, like if you have a separable or a degenerate kernel method, how we are going to solve that integral equation. Basically, whenever you have a separable degenerate kernel, you have, for example, you have a Fredholm integral equation of second kind y of x equals to lambda integration from a to b k of xt y of t dt. The kernel must be separable, or you can also say it is a degenerate kernel. If you can write it in this form, summation I is equals to 1 to n f of xi gi of t. We replace the kernel x of t in this form, like kernel can be separated in terms of two functions, x separately and t separately. You plug in that kernel and you know that your integration is with respect to t. So whatever function is depending on x, that can be taken outside because integration is with respect to t. After taking it outside, after separating it, you can mark this complete integral that is depending on t as ci, any constant. Just take it outside, write it separately, that constant, and then generally we have found some constants c1, c2, c3 in terms of lambda and some alphas, where alphas are written here. Then after finding all the constants c1, c2 up to cn, we have written their equations and write up their determinant d of lambda. If d of lambda is non-zero, the system of equation has only trivial solution. And if, for example, you have d of lambda is equals to 0, at least one of the ci can be assigned arbitrarily and the remaining ci's can be determined accordingly. Hence, when d of lambda is 0, infinite many solutions of equation exist because all the ci's are depending on some other one. Those values of lambda for which d of lambda is 0 are called eigenvalues, and any non-trivial solution is called corresponding eigenfunction. The eigenvalue of that equation 1 is given by d of lambda is equals to 0. So you will get the values of lambda out of here. Those will be the eigenvalues. Corresponding to those eigenvalues, you can get the eigenfunction y of x. Now let's come on the exact example. Solve the following integral equation. Y of x is lambda integration from 0 to 1 e of x plus t y of t dt. Now you know that your kernel is e of x plus t. You can write it as e of x multiplied by e of t. So you can see that x are separated and t are separated. So this is the separable kernel. So write it separately like this and take the function that is depending on x outside, because the integration is depending on t, not x. So you can take it out. After taking it out, you can mark this integral as c1. If you have combination, like for example plus and you have another integral, then that integral will be taken as c2. Now write that c1 here. c1 is integration from 0 to 1 e t y of t dt. Now you know that your y of x is lambda e x c1. So your y of t will be lambda e of t c1. You have used this equation here. After using it here, take all the constants outside and just integrate it. After integration, apply the upper limit and the lower limit of the integration, and you will get this equation as C1 equal lambda C1 over 2 e square minus 1. Multiply 2 on both sides, you will get this equation. And then this, you can see that this is plus with 0. So you can subtract it on the left side and you will be left with 0 on the right side. Take the C1 common, you got this equation. After getting it, you can see that the product is 0. Product is 0 means you know that C1 cannot be 0. C1 is this thing. If you make it 0, it means y of x is 0. So C1 cannot be 0. It means this bracket is going to be 0. So you will write C1 is not 0. So 2 minus lambda e square minus 1 is 0. It means lambda equals to 2 over e square minus 1. So using equation number 1, your equation was y of x is lambda ex c1. Just plug in the value of c1 there. After plugging in the value, you can see these are all constants. So you can mark it as some other constant a. So where a is 2c1 over e square minus 1. Similarly, we have another example as well. This is a separable kernel because you can separate the x values, you can separate the t. Now whatever is inside this integral, along with this integral, you can take it as c1. Take the c1 separately. Now c1 is integration from 0 to 1 t y of t dt. Y of t, plug in the value of y of t here. This is y of x, so y of t will be lambda 3t minus 2 c1 dt. Integrate it. After integration, you will know that c1 is 0. If you plug in c1 is 0 here, you will get y of x equals to 0. So this is your trivial solution. After doing this example, you can try doing this exercise 5. The same way, all of these are separable or degenerate kernels. So try to solve these integral equations using the separable or degenerate kernel method. After that, we will do in the next video eigenvalues and eigenfunctions, like for example how we are going to find the eigenvalues and eigenfunctions of given integral equation.